Good morning and welcome to Realty Connects. We're here again to bring the real estate news to you, what's going on in the Long Island market. And I'm here with my partner, Michael Artolino, and a very distinguished guest who is a former editor for Long Island Business News. He's an editor, he's a Long Island historian, he's an entrepreneur, and we're gonna pull some information out of him about what's happening on Long Island. That's John Kominicki. So welcome, John.
Good to be here, thank you.
Yeah, it's great to have you. We had John as a guest about 2-3 weeks ago. He gave us some great insights about things that are going on Long Island, great opportunities that are coming up on Long Island. So we'd like to have him back and talk a little bit more about it. So,
yeah, well, I, as always, have questions for you. And it's my journalism background, which is
sure.
So I've been reading lately and sort of watching what's going on west of us. So
right.
in the boroughs,
everything moves west to east, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, that's in part of my question, which is, so if there is such a push into Brooklyn, which we all know there is, and as I hear it, some of the overflow is now ending up in Queens, where property values are rising, home prices are up and rising. So the question is, does that indeed leak eastward? Are we we on Long Island, perhaps especially in Nassau County, going to see some of that overflow, given that we have a great transportation system, and of course they're side by side.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. That population will start to move further east and into the western part of Long Island, and then continue on out into Suffolk County. Definitely, we offer opportunities right now with the prices in our market the way they are. They've stabilized, not going down. They're not shooting up like a rocket, so it's affordable. And I know areas that you mentioned in Queens and Brooklyn, I've seen some of the prices escalate to staggering numbers. So affordability has definitely decreased there.
And parking is, I understand also, even for residential, you if you don't get home at the right time, you circle the block for an hour looking for a spot somewhere near your home.
Yeah. With the price of gas, you don't want to do that. So.
Yeah, right. Well, that I have to say though, I wonder whether property taxes will be a shock for someone who's wandering out of New York City, where they have income tax and very, very low property taxes.
Right.
Correct?
It probably will be one of the bigger deterrents, if there is a deterrent, but what we offer in beaches and communities and services and the parks and recreation might offset that quite a bit for somebody who's used to living in the boroughs where it's limited access to those kind of amenities. So I'm hoping that would be the big
thing. It'll be slightly larger.
Sure, certainly.
The land will be a
Sure.
little bit bigger for them.
Yeah.
So there's a trade-off there. I agree with you. The lifestyle's a little bit different. Space will be a little bit more. Land will be a little bit more.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So there's a trade-off there.
So on the commercial side, I know you guys do some commercial business.
Yes, we do. We're doing quite a bit of commercial real estate now, too, on top of our residential business, which has boomed.
Good. Because I wonder whether that's not an even bigger sort of migration possibility, if you will. We already know there are companies being forced out of Brooklyn because developers are trying to turn that into housing space, right? Housing developments. Queens has become increasingly gentrified, I think you could say, so that if you think back to the old, say, just pick Long Island City, for example, look what's going on there.
Right.
I mean, the Domino sugar factory's coming down, and what's going to go there? It ain't going to be another factory. So, it seems to me if you're a New York City manufacturer, need sort of large, sprawling industrial space. Maybe you could go to the Bronx if you wanted to, but Brooklyn seems like no longer an issue, and Queens increasingly less so. And Mayor de Blasio has, number one on his list is not manufacturing, number one on his list is his progressive agenda is affordable housing. So those things seem all of that together seems to be working towards what could be a great opportunity for Long Island, I think, from a commercial real estate and job standpoint.
I agree, and that's interesting that you mentioned that. While you were saying that, I'm thinking the way the policies are, they created space for industrial parks so that would create jobs. Now they want to create affordable housing, but take the jobs away. So it's two forces working together, but yet against each other at the same time.
Well, New York City clearly does not have a job problem at the moment. The job rate there, they had 8.5% growth, I think, last year.
Well, it's going to be interesting.
But not manufacturing jobs.
No, those jobs will be eliminated and moved to Long Island, which then would have the population.
And we'd get a reverse commute the other way. Now the people will be coming from where the affordable housing is going to be put, because those factories are all leaving those areas. They're going to come onto Long Island to go to work, because it's going to naturally push the manufacturers out there. So that affordable housing is going to be in the other direction, when for all these years it's been the other way around. Could be interesting.
And at some point people tire of the commute and just say, the heck with it, I'm going to live
my
near
house
where,
here.
exactly,
Exactly.
live near where I work.
Yeah.
So
Exactly right.
I think
mean,
that's very encouraging.
Overall, the housing market is terrific right now. It really is. It went through a little quiet time when we had the winter weather and the storms and
Sure.
so on and so forth, but we're seeing a tremendous influx of first-time home buyers and second-time buyers into the marketplace.
Great rates.
The rates are good. The housing prices have stabilized, so people aren't concerned that they're going to buy a house and it's going to be worth less next year, which happened for a couple of years.
Now there's
for
a little
us.
more to choose
Yeah.
from as we've gotten a little further into the late spring, and now we're going to roll into a nice summer market. We expect an active summer market. There's a little more inventory out there for people to choose from, and there's a lot of activity at the open houses and traffic with the rates. I think we're going to see a pretty strong summer market.
Well, I know month over month, the numbers have been very, very encouraging. The growth rate is good. So I think we're still down a little bit year over year. Is that correct? But
Yes, but I
just
think
took a
that's
one-
just that little lag
It
that we
took a
had
lag.
because it had a late start. Our
okay.
season had a late
That's
start.
where the leg caught
Yeah.
up. Because we just had that. That's correct. And however, contracts are up, so we'll see
Yes.
that come back.
Exactly.
later.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So-
No, the contract numbers are great.
Terrific, yeah, really. And the commercial real estate, you mentioned commercial real estate, that's also starting to really move as compared to it was just staying average or standard, so to speak, maybe a little bit a lull in rentals, but we're getting more and more inquiries for commercial real estate. We happen to have a 5,000 square foot office in the Hop Hog Industrial Park, and that's one of the #1 industrial parks in the nation. And there are not, if there's 5% vacancy in that park, I'd say it's high. Everybody
And there's
is
several buildings
yeah.
within that industrial park that are getting revitalized, redone, and and they're changing, to a mixed-use kind of look. And
Yeah.
it's
Well, that's
working
right. They
very
just
well.
changed the height restrictions.
They
there,
changed the
right?
height
So-
restrictions
right.
and
Gives
they're
them an
putting sewers in.
opportunity. Exactly right.
So that's
Very
huge.
smart.
Those buildings are going to be worth more money. The rental will be,
Sure.
better. So that's a great investment now to get into that park.
it completely broadens the end use possibilities.
Exactly.
You can go up.
Exactly
You
right.
can do lots of different things.
Right, and it's
Yeah.
very, very well run and maintained park. So it's an asset for the neighborhood.
Hey, I wanted to ask, I've seen a couple of pieces recently. Obviously, Detroit, the housing situation there remains, in the news. But a couple of other sort of Rust Belt cities, same sort of thing, where the communities, the municipalities have gone to pretty extraordinary levels to get rid of foreclosed on or abandoned homes. I want to say it was Cleveland, but where they went so far as the city was buying the properties, demolishing them, and then giving the land to the neighbors. If you'll mow it, you can have it.
Yeah.
And it's an incredible way to, sure, it thins out, in terms of just number of buildings, it thins out neighborhoods, but it just, incredibly increases the
Well, it also
quality of them.
changes the look and the feel.
Sure.
And the people that have weathered it, now they're giving them something, maintain it. That works really
Yeah.
well.
So I just sort of lost track of how did we do in Long Island in the whole foreclosure thing, and
We're still
what's the
in
rebound?
it, but we're coming out of it.
we were the last
And-
ones in it, and we'll be the last ones out.
Well, New York being a judicial state
Right.
takes 3 years to foreclose on a house, where in other states they do it in a relatively short period of time, and then it takes another 6 to 9 months to evict the current occupant in the property. So a foreclosure in New York can take anywhere from 3 to 4 years, which that entire time there's deferred maintenance on the property. Nobody's putting any money into it. There's no painting, no lawns cutting, no landscaping. So what the banks have done, and I do work with Fannie Mae, and Michael and I in the foreclosure end of the business work with Bank of America, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they are now starting to invest in improving the properties. They have national vendors. They put in new carpet, paint, new kitchens, so on and so forth, and then put the property out in a repaired state for slightly below market value or close to market value.
Not a lot, though.
Yeah.
That pull down has stopped.
Well, it seemed to me that the robo-signing scandal really forced banks to really reconsider the entire foreclosure thing, and they seem much more interested in workouts and sort of preserving people in homes as much as possible. So I wondered that since we were so late to the process, whether we might emerge a little less scathed or more unscathed, or whatever that would be.
It's a good point. It's a great point, because had this transpired 2 years ago,
Sure.
before our market actually recovered and started to stabilize, then it would have been much more disastrous. But now it's not as noticeable because our market is in great shape. We're selling properties, buyers are out there. The market itself has already recovered. So now mixing in those foreclosures is not showing up as strong as it would have in pulling prices down and making it difficult for
Because there's enough
sales to
sales
happen.
that neutralize the number.
Because I know the economists always worry about the shadow inventory of trouble.
We're kind of past that major curve.
Yeah.
We're out of it as far as it being shadow inventory, but there is inventory coming on the market. But some of the good, like I say, some of the good news is the banks are improving those properties, so they don't come on as a foreclosure and a boarded up home with the plumbing missing and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So with those improvements, that house
Plumbing's
doesn't
so
show
tempting.
up.
That's right.
Yes, plumbing has been horrible. That's
If you can't get it at the railroad anymore.
Yes.
We were talking off camera about the job scene, and the employment situation on Long Island continues to look very bright. We're not adding jobs. We're not quite as hot as New York City, and we're not as of yet adding as many of those really hot media and film and television jobs. And New York is really
none of those sexy jobs.
Well, they do. And we like them too, and are working very hard at it. But at any rate, the numbers overall look really good. So I wondered how that impacts the housing market. So is there a correlation between good employment numbers and good housing numbers?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Michael will tell you, when we have a buyer that's stable employment and good income, it's so much easier. Part of what we talked about before with the regulations and the worry about foreclosures, the banks have put many new regulations so that type of activity doesn't happen again, so that there isn't, so that it's stable.
The 110% financing
We're not going to look at that problem again.
The buyers that are coming to the table
So the
now
buyers,
have some seed money. They have good jobs. They can report their incomes. We're going back to with the regulations being in place. It's now been adjusted where when you come to the table as a buyer, if that Millennium Group steps in, they know they're going to be asked how much money they're going to put down, what kind of job they're in, how long they've been there. They're going to show their W-2 for over. They won't consider you for a job, I think now, for a mortgage unless you've been in your job at least 7 months and can report, your income. That all is a little more stringent. However, it's proving out which is why the market is stable and the activity level is up, because now we're through that and people are coming prepared.
Mm-hmm. And what's the down payment nowadays? 20%?
That could
depends.
vary. You could still do a 3.5% down FHA loan, and as long as you've reported all your documentation. Well, keep in mind a good percentage of the loans today are FHA loans.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a very strong.
It's a strong product. It's a great product. It's a much improved product to what it used to be years ago. The FHA.
Conventional kind of is you see 10, 15, and 20%. For the most part, it's 20%. However, some people can get push it down to 10%.
You mentioned Fannie and Freddie. What's going on with them? I think the average American had high hopes that after the housing disaster sort of righted itself, that those things would
My stock would have went up?
well, no, but that they would either be merged into something that made more sense, or frankly, for some of us, that it would go away together.
I could get in trouble on this topic. I mean, what's happened, in my opinion, the stimulus package has been paid back from Fannie and Freddie, yet the government still owns the preferred shares, and there's a substantial amount of income that's given off from those companies to the government. So I don't see...
You mean we finally made a good investment in
changes,
all of that?
I don't see changes as quick as they say they'd like to make changes when, they've shared a $56 billion income or something out of that over the past year or so. So it's interesting. I mean, there's a number of organizations, huge investment firms that would like a piece of that, Fannie and Freddie, and they've specified that, but there's been no direction taken by the government to break that company up. There's just been statements made, but there's also a tremendous income for the government with that company.
Sure. Well, good to hear we're doing better with that than the GM stock.
Yeah, it was a good investment.
Yeah.
It was a very good investment.
What about jobs? What about your profession, for example?
Great time. Great
Yeah.
time to be going in
Great
this
time to be in
business.
real estate.
Absolutely.
It is a fabulous
Do I have to pass a test? Is that
Yes, actually, yeah.
Oh.
It's a 75-hour course. You can take it online or you can take it in person. And the younger people seem to be gravitating to our industry, and it's been a while since we saw that, but we're seeing a good percentage. Our industry's actually getting younger now.
Wow.
And they're coming in.
You wouldn't
and
know that from me.
They're tech savvy, and they're coming out well educated, and they're walking into this business. And you can see agents that come and start in a company, certainly like ours, which is really a lot of the younger people have gravitated to us because of our model. Mm-hmm. Within 6 months, they've got a revenue stream started. They're getting their name and their branding out there, and they're speaking to their peers in the way they want to be spoken to, which is internet, text, tweet. It's amazing the kind of, I mean, you never see someone in that age group without an iPad, laptop, phone in their hand, and they're communicating and doing business, so it's a wonderful time. And then the other group, if you want to speak to your group, how they're entering the business.
The old people? Oh my God, did you hear that? Did you hear
Wow.
Who's grayer? So, but I do want to add to that, though, and it's an interesting question, John, but most people will never say, well, what is your son going to do when they graduate college? Well, he's going to be in real estate. You know, he's going to be a real estate salesperson.
Sure.
It's not a profession that people seek out. It's something that people fall into. Mm-hmm. But more and more people, as Michael said, are seeing it as a profession now. And they're understanding that there's a good income to be made, a good livelihood. They can support their family. They can pretty much maintain their own business hours. So you don't have a schedule. You're an independent contractor. So if you can get your work done in 3 days a week, then the rest of the time is yours. It depends on you and what you do and how you do it. It's a fabulous career. I think everybody knows sales is one of the #1 professions as far as income goes in the world, other than if you're playing basketball or baseball. They make the most money, I guess. Yeah. But the fact is that people should look at real estate as more as a career and a profession than they do. And I think that you were consulted on that by a major player as far as education and them putting a program in place for real estate.
I've actually been approached by a major university to consider helping them redesign some of the things they do in their business arm and introduce several types of real estate courses that they then will seek to be accredited courses so people can actually get a real estate
career
degree
going,
and a career started.
So that's interesting when these bigger universities see the potential in doing what we do, the way, and what the need is. I mean, we're just like, you either have one or you want one. I mean, everybody needs shelter. The business itself fulfills a need and takes care of a neighborhood and a community, and that's what we're about.
Well,
it's a great profession.
A little self-serving here also. I am going to say this, though. Our model being young and the way we designed it is why we attract the younger people to us, because they see us as one company, not this one on this corner and that one on that corner. When we designed the company just under 5 years ago now, we went and we wanted to be a company that was easy on its feet, could follow a trend and change, and teach the agent to be all of Long Island now, not just one place. And we've been lucky enough to be able to do that. And what's nice for us, for the industry as well, is those tried and true models that have been around for 100 years, 60 years on Long Island, 50 years on Long Island. They're now looking at us and beginning to change their models, their business model, towards ours.
Yeah. So it's all It's very exciting here on Long Island, ladies and gentlemen, and the show went so quick today, but we do have to
Great time, yeah.
to
Great
go
to
to
have
our
you back
listings.
again. There's
But
always
we
something
love
to talk
having you,
about
John.
here.
You have great insights on Long Island. It's fabulous to have you. Please come back as a guest anytime. You're
All
more
right.
than welcome. We love having you on the show. Remember, if you want to phone in, call in, or text, if you have a question, if you didn't get a chance today while we're on air, you can send us that question, and if it's for us, we'll easily answer it, and we'll forward it to John if there's any information you'd like.
If it's for me, I'll struggle through it.
Absolutely. So we'd like to say thanks for tuning in again to Realty Connects. We'll see you again next week, same time. And thanks again, John, Michael, always great. And we're going to go now to our new listings for the week from Realty Connects. So if you don't see the house that you want on the new listing inventory, remember we have over 20,000 houses available in inventory. So we definitely do have the house that you're looking for on Long Island. So give us a call, and thanks for tuning in.
See you next week.
If you have a real estate question, send us an email at realtyconnectsli@gmail.com or text us at 516-702-5406, and we'll answer your question live on Realty Connects Long Island. Our first listing this week is a condo located in Manorville on 204 Gothic Circle, priced at $254,999. This mint Ashton model in the gated Silver Ponds community offers year-round views of the pond and fountain, a bright living room with cathedral ceilings and amenities including pools, tennis, racquetball, and more. Call Nyla Ashraf at 631-881-5167. Next, we have 1317 Waverly Avenue in Farmingville, listed at $335,000. It features a nice open floor plan with large rooms throughout, a master bedroom with a private bath, and new appliances in the eat-in kitchen. Contact Nancy Vigna for more info at 631-881-4171. Here is a new listing in Patchogue on for $399,999 at 15 Russell Lane. This colonial has it all, with a custom kitchen with top-of-the-line appliances and a private backyard offering a large Trex deck, sunroom, a gazebo, a custom built-in barbecue, and an 18 by 32 in-ground pool. Call Ed Tooling at 631-881-4401 or Jan Thede at 631-881-5667 for more details. In Sound Beach, we have two new construction properties for sale on Jackson Avenue, both priced at $424,000. They boast 2,241 square feet of living space, featuring 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, hardwood floors throughout, and a granite eat-in kitchen. Call Julie Poitamani at 631-881-5957 or Suzanne Labanner at 631-870-7247. We moved to Miller Place for a new listing at 491 Miller Place Road, on for $425,000. On 1.25 acre, it offers a legal accessory apartment, beautiful granite kitchen with 2 sinks, an island, and a wine refrigerator, a large living room with vaulted ceilings and a master bedroom suite with a full bath and jacuzzi. Call Brian Fleming for details at 631-881-5165. 38 Royalston Lane in South Setauket is our next new listing, priced at $489,000. This move-in ready farm ranch is completely redone with custom touches such as a new eat-in kitchen with gas cooking, stainless steel appliances, and white shaker cabinets, and the den includes a wet bar and beverage center. Contact Stephanie Carollo for more info at 631-941-6257. Lisa Sherman has this next new listing in Comac, listed for $525,000. It's a spacious split ranch, with a vaulted ceiling in the formal living room, a new eat-in kitchen with granite and a skylight, Anderson windows throughout, and a beautiful backyard with an in-ground pool. Lisa can be reached at 631-350-7220. 14 McAllis Court is now up for sale over in West Islip for $825,000. This one-of-a-kind, 5,600 square foot colonial offers an expansive great room with 11-foot ceilings, 3 fireplaces, a gourmet eat-in kitchen with porcelain wood glazed cabinets, and stainless steel appliances. Call Al Jacobacci for more details at 631-533-9757. We stay in West Islip for another new listing at 71 Eaton Lane, priced at $869,000. Another beautiful colonial, this one on over an acre of property, featuring an in-ground pool, in-ground sprinklers, central air, custom tile and brick throughout, 3 skylights, and so much more. Call Stephen Calapai at 631-881-4071 or Michael Devaney at 631-870-7194. Our last listing of the day is 7 Capel Drive in Dix Hills, priced at $1,875,000. A stunning 5,100 square foot colonial built in 2013 boasts a grand entry foyer, crown moldings throughout, marble floors with radiant heat, a master bedroom suite with a balcony, and guest quarters on the first floor. Call Heather Sal at 631-350-7213 or Lisa Sherman at 631-350-7220. Contact a Realty Connect USA agent today. Connected to over 20,000 available listings on Long Island. If there's a home out there for you, we'll find it.